Paris, Mecca for American writers, from Henry James to Ernest Hemingway to Mo Willems. Who's Mo Willems? Well, if you know a young child, then the name and the work may be very familiar. Willems has written and illustrated a string of best-selling children's books. But why is he in Paris?
Writers for years and years came to France because they somehow decided it was a place to think deep thoughts.
Absolutely. No, that's absolutely the same.
A children's book writer needs to think deep thoughts
You
too.
have to think the deep thoughts because that's the philosophical age. A 5-year-old is asking questions. Why are people mean? What is death? Can I drive a bus? I mean, these really deep thoughts.
In fact, one of Willems's most popular characters is a pigeon who wants to drive a bus.
Please.
As this animated version shows, the pigeon makes the same kind of preposterous demands that children know they themselves make.
I tell you what, I'll just steer. My goal is to write 49% of the book and then to let my audience create the 51%. They are my collaborator more than they are my audience.
You've said that part of the reason that you write these books is that there's no such thing as a good childhood. What do you mean by that?
That's a terrible time. It's a terrible time. You were born into a world where none of the furniture matches you. You walk into a room and the room is saying, you're nobody. Let's say we're having a good time, right? I hope you're having a good time. I'm having a great time. Imagine if a giant hand came down, plucked you out of the room, and said, no, now we're doing something else. And if you complained, it was your fault for getting fussy, for being angry about the hand dragging you out of the room.
As for Willems's own childhood, he grew up in New Orleans, the son of Dutch immigrants, and started cartooning at a young age.
In 2nd grade, the class bully would not tease me or bully me if I had a gag, so I had a daily strip in 2nd grade.
A little comic strip.
Yeah, just come up with a little gag and I'd show it to him, and if he laughed, then I was off the hook for the day.
After college, he tried stand-up comedy.
What kinds of things did you do?
I did things that large groups of people thought weren't funny, by and large. It's sort of, with sketches about like the guy who announces all the subway trains trying to order food, that kind of thing.
At just 24, he was asked to do one of his comedy bits as an audition to become a writer on Sesame Street.
I think I did one about the characters from Double Mint commercials going on a double date.
Double fresh.
To meet Boutros Boutros-Ghali, something like that. And they liked the sketches.
He got the job and spent 9 years there, winning 6 Emmys. He left to work on cartoon shows.
Sheep in the big city.
Farmer John loves his animals, especially a spunky little sheep called Sheep.
What made you say, okay, I am gonna write books for children?
It was a confluence of a lot of things. First of all, I said I want to write books for children, and it took many years for publishers to say okay. So just saying it doesn't make it necessarily happen.
But his first published book about that pesky pigeon was a sensation, winning the prestigious Caldecott Honor in 2004 for Most Distinguished American Picture Book for Children. Willems was still working on a cartoon show.
And I told my boss, hey, I want a Caldecott Honor. He said, great, story meeting in 10 minutes. Right? Unbelievably lucky enough, the next year I got a Caldecott Honor. So I had a better sense of what it was. So I said, hey, boss, I got a Caldecott Honor. I quit.
That second Caldecott Honor, and a third, came for his books about Knuffle Bunny, roughly based on his daughter Trixie's beloved toy, which once got left at the laundromat.
Mo's genius is that here he has taken, if you will, this inanimate object, and the way that he gives it the expression. Look at the ears and just these little pinpoint eyes. I mean, this is a helpless victim.
Nick Clark is chief curator at the Eric Carle Museum of Picture Book Art in Amherst, Massachusetts, which just hosted an exhibit of Mo Willems's work. including drawings of Elephant and Piggy, best friends who grapple with important issues of jealousy, friendship, and how to have fun.
He just knows how to make us laugh, and so that we see
This elephant going crazy.
doing this amazing kind of waving, and the beads of perspiration coming out of his skull, and the really goofy expression.
Elephant and Piggy made their stage debut at the Kennedy Center last fall. Willems wrote the play and lyrics.
What a guy!
What a gal! Super best I've ever found!
And yes, there is something of resemblance to the author in the character of Elephant.
Gerald, Gerald!
Feeling lucky doggy to see you.
When Willems went backstage to visit with the cast and crew, he couldn't help breaking into a little dance.
You can do it, baby. Do boom, boom, boom.
But mainly, he was thrilled by the delight of the children, who lined up for autographs after the show.
We liked when we got to help out.
That's awesome. Did you yell banana really loud?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Then Willems headed back to Paris for long walks with his wife Cher and hours spent sketching at a sidewalk cafe, making pictures of real people instead of book characters.
Here's a guy. He did not seem to be the happiest guy in the world.
But never fear. Willems has not totally lost himself in the pleasures of Paris. He's just out with The Pigeon Needs a Bath. And wherever Mo Willems goes, he plans to take the rest of us along.
I want to continue to make my life an adventure, and I would love for people to enjoy watching the results of the adventure that I'm on.